Welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Going to begin to the picks, previews, and the core plays here for the Memorial Tournament. Do just want to start off by saying if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to comment your favorite pick, do that in the comment section. This is all about trying to help each other. 9 to 5 Nation, just trying to help each other. That's my goal each and every week, is to give you guys the best picks, the best advice for you guys to be able to succeed. It's a helping matter. It's everyone coming together to try to help each other. But if you guys want to join 9 to 5 Nation specifically and use the tools that are seen on this video, you can do that. It's going to be $10 a month. It's the best value in PGA DFS. But let's get into the picks, previews, and core plays for this week. As always, though, you guys know I like to start off with the last week's recap, so we'll get into that just real quick. Kind of want these videos to be a little bit shorter than they happen, but just get into last week's recap. Another solid week there for 9 to 5. Do want to just mention the showdown tools at 9 to 5 have been absolutely spectacular. If you guys want to check that out, you can. We've had a winner or someone in contention like the last 2 months. It's been spectacular. Okay. Also, just point out that after round 1, we've been able to predict the winner in all but 2 weeks out of the last 12 weeks. So 10 out of the last 12 weeks, we've been able to pick the winner. Jason Kokrak was the third most likely player to win heading into the second round. Overall, the player pool was really good. 85% of the players made the cut. The value plays did well as well. 4 out of the 6 made the cut there as well. I was a little bit shocked to see Vincent Whaley not be chalk. He was only 25% owned in cash and like 15% owned in GPPs. A little bit strange there. He was kind of just a free square. It's kind of funny to see a lot of people trying to jump on the Vincent Whaley train as well, because you guys know 9 to 5 has been on that for a while. But core plays did well. Niemann was really the only letdown, finishing top 50. He's a guy that I think we'll be able to go back to the well with this week. We had 8 top 8 finishes in the player pool, which was pretty nice to see. And then we also had the winner in there. He was top 10 in the 9 to 5 mile, top 15 overall in the player pool. So, pretty solid week. Those are going to be weeks that we'll always take and be happy with those. Looking at the tournament preview now for this week. This is going to be the Memorial Tournament played at Muirfield Village Golf Course. And I do want to mention that they did some sort of renovations. It doesn't look like it's going to change how the course is going to play that much. So based on the stats that we have from the previous tournaments and whatnot, we should be good. And do just want to remind you guys that this tournament was played back-to-back weeks last year for the workday, and then also, the normal Memorial Tournament. They played very similar. A couple of players did play in both tournaments. Kind of interesting there for the history that we're going to be looking at. H1 is going to be the Memorial Tournament last year, and then H2 is going to be the workday, and that's just going to be the Memorial for H3 and H4. I just want to point that out. But average win score is 14 under. Average cut is going to be 1.75. So higher cut line again. So it's it's one of those tournaments where bogey avoidance you could be looking at, or birdie to bogey ratio are going to be kind of the scoring stats that you want to look at. But we've seen this tournament enough. We know what to expect. Got to be hitting your ball well, so we're going to be looking at ball striking, total driving. Strokes gained approach is one of the key stats, and then strokes gained tee to green. It's kind of a course where anyone can do well if they're playing well. There's no one significant key stat, which is kind of rare. Typically, there's at least a couple of key stats we can go off of. Overall, this is going to be a tournament in which we just want to see a player playing well. Course history-wise, Patrick Cantlay has the best course history, then Jon Rahm, Russell Henley, Adam Scott, and then Henrik Norlander casually popping up there. I was a little bit shocked to see that. Good for him, pretty much. Recent form-wise, we got Jordan Spieth, no surprise there, Keegan Bradley, Hoffman, Hovland, and Stewart Cink, all guys that have been playing very well over the last 10 weeks. But let's get into the picks and plays for this week. So I do just want to start off by saying, going to be going over the top 4 picks in each price point range, and I want to start off with Jon Rahm right here, guys. Jon Rahm is an absolutely spectacular play. We look at his tournament history. He won the Memorial last year, also had a top 30 finish at the workday last year as well. We'd love to see that. He's going to be the best overall stat fit here, which, that's pretty amazing. Top 30 and all the stats that we're looking at. He continues to just be an elite play each and every tournament. Hasn't really let us down other than, that casual miscut at the Wells Fargo Championship. Besides that, playing extremely well. Love to see that bounce back there at the PGA Championship. If you're worried about him playing in the event prior to a major, well, he still finished 34th there at the Byron Nelson. I kind of like him a lot as a pick this week. Then moving down into Collin Morikawa. He's another pick where I just really like a lot this week. He's another one of those guys who played back-to-back tournaments, one at the Workday, didn't have the best follow-up tournament, but he did make the cut at the Memorial Tournament, so still nice to see him go out and make the cut. He's going to be a top 5 staff as well. His only worry is going to be that around the green game, which we do see pop up a little bit here, and it, maybe it'll pop up a little bit more with the slight redesigns. I think it's kind of going to be what we've seen. They just add a little bit of length, so not overall too worried about it, but everything else is going to be a top 25 staff hit there for Collin Morikawa. Really like him as a strong pick to go out and play well this week. I see no reason to fade him. And then moving down into Victor Hovland, another guy that's checking all the boxes at a great price point. Played well at this tournament last year. 2 solid finishes there. Going to be a top 6 staff hit there for Victor Hovland. Once again, with him, it's going to be the worry. It's going to be that strokes gain around the green. Other than that, been absolutely spectacular. This was kind of the tournament where it got highlighted with his, poor strokes gain around the green. It was that Memorial Tournament, and they said that, that's why he lost. He even said that's why he lost the previous week. That's kind of when all this was highlighted. So it'd be kind of cool to see him go out and have like a top 10 strokes gain around the green week there for Victor Hovland. So I really like him as a pick. He's been strong recent form. Pretty much all of his finishes have been, top 30 or better recently. Then the last pick is going to be Corey Connors. Once again, what is going on? This dude has pretty much just been a lock each and every week. He's going to be someone that I mentioned later on in the video, so don't have to dwell on that play too much because we'll touch on him in just a second. Now we're going to move down into the mid-tier price point plays. And I'm going to start off with another guy that is actually going to be someone we'll touch on later on. That's going to be Joaquin Niemann. You guys will see him at the end of the video. Want to focus on Matt Fitzpatrick here, though. Matt Fitzpatrick has been very good, guys. This whole season kind of had a letdown there at the Byron Nelson. Maybe it's just looking ahead to the major slightly too much. Still finished top 25. So the worry is there with him that he might just be looking ahead to the major. But overall, this is a course that really does fit him very well. 3rd, 27th, and 68th place finish. So 3 straight made cuts. They've all been getting better finishes as well. Going to be a top 26 stat fit, which you guys have seen me talk about Matt Fitzpatrick probably for a good amount now over the last 2 months. We know just by looking at his stats right now that they've been improving throughout the season. He had started off kind of slow, so it's great to see him actually be a top 26 stat fit this week. That tells me that this really should be a strong course for him. Ranks top 16 in the model this week. Really like him as a pick. I do just want to mention Charlie Hoffman in extremely great recent form. Did play well here last year at the Workday. Missed 2 cuts prior to that. I think he's a phenomenal pick. 11 straight make cuts. Going to be a good quality option for you. But I do want to mention Billy Horschel here as well. Billy Horschel, guys, kind of casually checking all the boxes this week, and he's someone that I'll dive into a little bit more at the end of this video. And then Keegan Bradley as well. Keegan Bradley, this is kind of the ideal course for him. He's made 3 out of 4 cuts here at this tournament. He's going to be the second best staff in the field. Let that sink in. Keegan Bradley is the second best staff in the field. And we can get him at 8K, which he's also second best in recent form. Absolutely love that, guys. He's 9th best in the model this week. Really, he needs to cut down on the bogeys a little bit. But Keegan Bradley, if he can get it going with this putter, going to be a strong play this week. Kind of crazy that we get a guy that's almost checking all the boxes this week at freaking 8K. I like it. Second best recent form, second best staff it. That's going to be a really good pick. I'm not sure he can be a cash play, but I do really like him just overall. Now we're going to move down into that low tier price point range. Going to start off with the Emiliano Grillo. And I tweeted this out. It's pretty amazing how Emiliano Grillo is essentially the exact same play each and every week. Going to be a great stat fit. Going to be a great GPP play, 2 straight made cuts in a row, and really solid overall. Solid as a whole. He hasn't been playing poorly. The only worry with him is that he's coming off of 2 straight missed cuts at this course. Now, they were back-to-back, so maybe you don't want to factor that in as much. Prior to that, 9th and 23rd place finish. Overall, he's just a great GPP play. Probably not someone you should play in cash this week, but he makes a lot of sense as a pick. And then we can move down into someone like Christian Bezuidenhout, who been playing very well, had a 22nd place finish here last year, 10 straight make cuts in a row. Now, he's also going to be someone that's not going to be the best staff. It played really bad at the start of the season, but he's been playing well since, 30th, 33rd, 40th, 56th, 41st, 7th, and 32nd place finish recently. So yeah, Christian Bazudin out at that price point is something that I think is very intriguing. Then I do just want to mention Kevin Streelman. Nah, he'll be someone that I touch on in a few seconds here. Really like him as a pick this week for you guys. And then just looking it over, kind of just going over a little bit more, there are a ton of great kind of flyers in this low tier price point range. I will have a decent amount of mid exposure and low exposure plays in that price point range coming from this price point range in my player pool in this price point range. But do want to mention Gary Woodland. He's another one of those guys where if we pulled him up here on the 9 to 5 specialist page, we could see that he's been improving a lot recently. We can see his most recent starts: 14th, 38th, 5th, miscut, which whatever, 40th, and a 6th place finish. So the upside has been there with him, and kind of the recency has been there with him. 3 straight make cuts in a row. Has phenomenal course history here, guys. Ranks top 12 in course history. You know, recent form rank actually 21st. So really like that. He's a guy where if we did pull him up on that, you know, specialist page, he'd be right around like top 30 stat fit. Just looking at the, you know, last 8 weeks or so. So yeah, Gary Woodland at 7.9 is highly intriguing to me. He's someone too where if he has a good week this week, I think we could potentially tease the idea of putting an outright bet on him at the US Open, because, you know, it's going to play kind of similar in terms of what you want to be looking at key stat wise. So, you know, Gary Woodland could be a nice solid pick. You know, I hope this is going pretty quickly. I like this, you know, a little bit quicker format for you guys. We'll get into the core plays and then we'll get out of here. All right, so let's break it down a little bit further there with Corey Conners. So Corey Conners, you know, just been in great recent form. 7th best in recent form. We just look at it, guys. All of them have been top 25 finishes or better, really, for the past 13 events, minus the Wells Fargo Championship and the Dell Match Play. And we don't really count the Dell Match Play, so really just been in phenomenal recent form. He's a top 8 stat fit, which kind of like some of the other players I mentioned earlier, it's that if he has a good strokes gain around the green week, he could easily go on and win this one. If he just has like top 25 in strokes gain around the green this week, he probably goes on and wins it. Top 20 in effective total driving, effective ball striking, effective scoring, which I really like that stat specifically this week. Effective scoring, that's just an accumulation of all the kind of stats that we want to be looking at: strokes gain differential, strokes gain total, scoring before the cut, you know, kind of just combining all those stats. Top 20 in that, we'd love to see that. 7th in strokes gain to the green, and he's not making that many birdies or bogeys. Top 30 in effective birdie to bogey ratio. We'd really love to see that there. Coming with Corey Conners, ranked top 6 in the mile. It's going to be a 77% chance for him to make the cut. Really, with me too, it's the fact that I've been really playing him a ton, so I have no reason to fade him. Just given the fact that I've continued to play him and continue to have good results from him, I kind of like to go with that approach. Is just play these guys into the ground until they let you down. That same thing could be said for Joaquin Niemann here, who we have just been, you know, going crazy with Niemann this year. Corey Conners and Niemann have been two of the most owned players so far. Niemann is just a stud. Let's put it that way. Missed the cut last year at the Memorial, but didn't make the cut at the workday, so I don't really penalize him for that too much. And, you know, 3 of those have been top 31 or better finishes, which obviously that's really good. He ranks top 10 in the model, guys, top 6 overall, 7th best staff in the field, which once again, if he just has a good day, strokes gain around the green, he should have a solid week. 13 straight make cuts in a row. The only worry I have with Niemann is the potential for him to have like burnout. He's been playing a lot of events, been playing really well. You know, he's just going to be due for a random miscut here shortly, kind of like John Rahm a few weeks ago. You know, maybe he'll be due for a random miscut, and maybe he'd be looking ahead to the US Open a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. I love the price point for him. He's going to be a solid pick at that price point. I think he's only priced at that price point range because he finished 50th last week. Then I'm going with Billy Horschel this week. Kind of shocking to me. I just really like the price point of Billy Horschel this week. He's a guy that's casually just been playing really well. If we're looking at recent form rank, course history rank, and stat rank, he ranks T37 or better in all those. Overall ranks top 15 in the mile. If we look specifically at his course history, he's finished 13th, 7th, and 9th here in the last 3 years, which is absolutely spectacular. He's made 7 straight cuts in a row as well. I really don't see how I do not end up on Billy Horschel as well. The only worry with him, again, is going to be the potential for a burnout. You know, 7 straight make cuts in a row. Not always the best stat fit. He's kind of been able to piece things together. But overall, I think Billy Horschel at 8.1 is just a phenomenal price point that we can't pass up. And then just going over the last core play of the week this week, It's actually going to be Kevin Streelman. A lot of this is due to the fact that he has a great price point and casually checking all the boxes. So we know what goes into checking all the boxes. Needs to be a top 30 staff hit. He ranks 31st, so I guess technically he's not. But you need to have at least 3 straight make cuts on tour and at least 3 straight make cuts at that event with a top 30 finish. He's done that. So just looking at course history, he's finished 54th, 7th, 4th, and 44th. So he's been able to make the cut, and when he's had it together game-wise, he's been able to get a top 10 finish. We look at his last 3 cuts made on tour. It's been a 20th, 8th, and 26th place finish. Prior to that, miscut the Valspar, 33rd, and 9th place finish. So, things have been looking better for Kevin Streelman as of recent. We know that this is a tournament in which total driving, ball striking matters, effective birdie to bogey ratio matters, and effective scoring matters. Well, typically speaking, those would be stats in which he finishes, top 30 in by the end of the season. So yeah, Kevin Streelman at 7.5, I really do like. I guess the only thing I can say with him is that there are a lot of quality options in this price point range. So he might be seen as a slightly riskier play, but a guy that's casually pretty much checking all the boxes I really like as a pick this week. But that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give a thumbs up on the video, like it. If you guys want to join 9to5 Nation, $10 a month, best value in PGA DFS. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we have a good week this week. I'm excited for it. The Memorial Tournament's always a good one. And we have the US Open coming up. It's a nice stretch of PGA DFS. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And as always, let's keep cashing.